Pretty
Uh,
much.
if Trump wins, then we don't even know what's going to happen. I know they have plans to completely dismantle every single thing that in a lot of gains that we have, because then they if Trump wins, then they would still have the Senate, because it looks like we're not going to lose that fun guy. They would have the presidency, and they have the Supreme Court. So life is going to change. But then if Biden wins, we'll have the same situation that we had before. Biden would have a Congress that fights him on everything and blocks everything, just like they did with Barack. And so it'll be very difficult to get things done. So we are so completely divided. We are so literally down the middle. And that silent majority that Trump's been talking about, because of some posters that did some non-traditional polling. There are so many very nice, sweet, quiet, so soft-spoken Trump lovers. They just don't tell you they're Trump lovers, but they are, and they're out there, and the numbers are showing us that um, they might be nice and say the right things to your face, but they're loving them some Trump and his ways.
Mm-hmm.
So our country is, oh my gosh, it is definitely in a mess. But I believe that at least we know that, and we know what to fight and who to fight and how to fight. There is one, I can't remember. I think it might be in Atlanta or Georgia, not necessarily Atlanta, where there's going to be a campaign or whatever that has to happen again in January.
Yeah.
That before was not so important, but now it's going to be super important because it could be the difference in numbers in the Senate. If this, I can't remember the person's name, but if the Democrat wins there, then that will give us one more person in the Senate, and it lessens their majority. So more of the same, basically. Either way it goes.
Well, as my gracious co-host has said, first of all, Seabreeze, can you see me?
Oh, you can. I can see you very well. Better than usual, actually. I don't see the top of your head anymore. What?
That how things are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the top of my head. Um, so far right now we're looking at 224 to 213. Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Biden has flipped Wisconsin. He's flipped North Carolina. He's on the verge of flipping Arizona. Um, but I want to talk about Pennsylvania for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
my home state, and Philadelphia in specific. Here's the issue with Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has until 3 days after election day to get the mail-in votes in.
That's the rules there.
Right. So it's
Okay.
going to take until Friday. One of the biggest areas that they're waiting for is Philadelphia County,
Philly.
Delaware County, where I reside, Montgomery County. So far, the trend is showing these are blue areas. So just like he took over Michigan and shot, and now he took Michigan, the same could happen for Pennsylvania. If Biden takes Pennsylvania, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Damn, CC, I should be
Yeah.
on CNN.
You're pretty good.
Could you see me on CNN?
You would be very refreshing on there.
I can't cuss though.
No, no cussing. No cussing.
Have you seen lately? They be
What's
saying
that?
outlandish shit. It feels so refreshing to be able to say shit.
Yes. You can use such colorful language.
Oh, you know you like it. You know you like it. Listen, real quick, shout out to Yvette Money. Um, the book release. I wish you had been here, Sea Breeze. You would have had a great
Mm.
time. It was a little intimate thing, little food. They had the lifestyles drink, and I heard it was good because all the women were very chatty.
Hmm. That's the best kind of liquor.
It was a very nice event. Again, shout out to Y Money. We had a really good time. Social distancing. It was a little intimate situation. She did a little Q&A thing, and Cece got her little shout out.
Hey.
She said, "Thank you for reading," and she's looking forward to you reading the yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Woo, woo, woo.
She's looking forward to you reading the actual audio.
And she's making a dream come true for me too, because I've always wanted to do that. I want to do it for my own book. And I've always loved that part of the business and wanted to break into it, audibles, animation, voiceover work. Um, People have told me they like my voice, so I would love to share it that way. And what better way than with Miss Even Money?
To those of y'all that's listening, she's available. She does voiceovers.
Yes, I would love to get into that. What was our guest's name that was a voice actor that came on the show a few weeks ago? Man, maybe 2 months ago. With that voice, he talks like,
Oh, Harlem Renaissance,
yeah, Harlem Renaissance. That
Mister
man has a beautiful voice.
Mister
And
Clarence Marshall.
yes, and he does that. And it's just like, to me, fun money, working, doing something I absolutely love to do, which is characters. That's one thing about being an actress, unless you Eddie Murphy or Martin or any of these people. Most of the time, you get to just be one character at a time, but to be able to really play with your vocal abilities and mess around with different voices when you're reading, or doing animation, that's a dream come true for me.
Well, she talking about doing a whole Netflix series. Of
Mhm. Wow. Well, it
mm,
makes sense. It's a controversial but yet fun, interesting thing. You remember when 50 Shades came out, how
yeah,
everybody was reading that because it was something that people thought about and think do participate in, but no one had ever put it out there before.
yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's a whole world, a culture that people think about or to participate in, but uh, hasn't really been put out there like that.
All right.
And
So for shits and giggles, let's say you were approached to play a role in that series, would you?
I don't know. I'd have to read it. I have to read the script and see if it's in line with the kind of roles that I want to play. I'm an actress, so if it's good, and I just don't want to get stuck. Like for the longest time, I was the ingenue, the whatever, and my roles weren't very meaty. Um, so if if it falls in line with me showing a completely different side, and I don't feel like it's gratuitous, I definitely would consider it if it's a good script.
Hmm.
I I just have to read everything I do to know, to see if it's in line with the direction I'm taking my career.
So when you're getting ready for a script, you how often how deeply do you read it?
I I I know usually within 2 pages if this is something I'm gonna even be interested in. Because there's so many people out there writing that don't know how, and they might have good stories, but there's a huge difference between a good story and a good script.
Oh,
And then I might get a script where there's um it's an awesome story, awesome script, but not for me. Maybe it's not going to take me anywhere. I'm not going to grow from it. It's not going to change anything in my career. And so unless they're offering a heck of a lot of money, I'm not interested in that. I don't do everything.
So have you ever gotten a script that was just like total trash? Like
I get total trash all the time.
you, you ever get a what the fuck script? Like you
Yes,
like what the fuck?
all the time.
Like what
All
the
the time.
when you wrote this bullshit? Fuck no, I don't want to be bothered with this.
All the time.
So what do
I
you
get them.
say? How do you
Well, it depends on how they come at me. If they come at me with give us okay, will you do this? Like for instance, I had someone come to me with a script and he was very excited about it. And I read it and I was like, there's no way in hell I would do this movie. No way in the world.
wow, what's wrong with it?
Well, it was gratuitous that it was about a real person, and part of their lifestyle was sleeping with everything that walked.
Damn.
But the women in it, there was nothing to these characters. All they were being um representing sexuality, period. There was nothing to the characters but that. I was like, why would I want to be in a movie like this? I mean, this may be a true story, but I don't understand how it moves my world. And I don't understand how it moves anyone's world. Okay. Sometimes you just don't tell a story to tell a story. You tell a story for a reason, to change minds, to make people think. And just because this happened in real life doesn't mean it'd be interesting to watch. I'm sure there'd be a lot of perverts that would love it, but I'm not into that. I mean, I don't do porn. Okay. If I have sex scenes in a movie, it's because of something. It means something. And
Right.
it's just like in real life. Sex is very important, but it's not all there is to a relationship. And if the movie is just sex, 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 and there ain't nothing else to it, why would I do that? And so I turned it down. And so the guy was like, why? Why? I'm offering you all this money. And I said, because there's nothing in it. There's no depth to character. All is any female character in this movie, every single female character in this movie is about having sex with this character. That's it. There ain't nothing in this for me. And he, oh my God, he wanted notes. He wanted reasons. So I sat down and I took my time and I told him, if you change this, if you change that, if you did this, if you did that. Honey, that man was like, I'm a blackball you, you bitch. I he Oh yeah, he wanted to hurt me. He wanted to tell me off. He called me every name in the book, told me I was stuck up, and I was like, all I'm doing is what you asked. Now, if somebody gave me a script like that and they didn't ask for my opinion and I said no, they said, "Okay, well, thank you for considering it. Maybe we'll do something else." Then that's cool. They didn't ask for my opinion, but this man wanted to know why. So I told him why. And then he wanted to blackball me. He's like, I'm going to make sure nobody works with you, because I gave him my opinion.
And
And
hit you with the stuck up bitch?
yes, I'm arrogant. I'm stuck up. I'm all these names because I didn't like the fact that every female character in his movie was just sleeping with the main character and there was nothing else to them.
Mm,
That made me arrogant. I'm like, you know what? That made me real. And if I'm all those things to you because you asked me my opinion and I gave it to you, then I'll gladly take it. I'm a stuck up bitch. If that's what it means, that's what I'll be because I'm not doing this crap. And you shouldn't have asked for my opinion if you didn't want it. So, for all you people that are going to send me stuff out there, do not ask for my opinion if you don't want it because I am real. I will tell you the truth. I may not break down your script and tell you why, because that costs money. You want me to do that, you got to pay me. I'm not going to do that for everybody. If you want me to break down your script, I'll gladly do it for a fee. But otherwise, just I'll read it, I'll say yes or no, and that's it. If you want help with your script, I'll give it to you, but you got to pay. So,
So let me ask you something. 'Cause, 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 'cause You've done Broadway before, right?
Mm-mm.
You've done theater, I should say.
I've done lots of theater, but I only got one. I only auditioned for two Broadway shows. Well, one was an off Broadway. I got that, and then the other one was a Broadway show. Was Rent, and I got that, but then I didn't do it because I got offered a movie that in 10 weeks I would get paid the same amount in 10 weeks than 2 years contract. So.
Mm.
Mhm.
So have you ever been on a? So you mostly done just single movies. So you never been on like a series or anything like that, and they just all of a sudden wrote your character out or whatever for no reason.
Oh, I've been in plenty of movies where they wrote my character. Not plenty. I've been in maybe just one movie where they wrote my character out. Series, I've not done any series. I've done a pilot or two, but I've never done a series yet. Um, I just, I think well, for one, I was too thick, you know,
Mm.
for doing television. Television, at least they used to stick to the very, very thin people. And I wasn't big enough to play the thick PHAT best friend, you know. I wasn't big enough for that, but I wasn't small enough to play the lead roles either. So I've done more independent film than anything. And but one movie I got wrote I was in, shot it, everything, and then they cut it all out. I won't tell you what it was, but I
Mm.
was in a movie and I got completely cut out because the person decided to blackball me because I had the nerve to date a white guy. So this person wanted to destroy me and did a pretty decent job of it for a while.
So let me ask you this. First of all, you are timekeeping, right?
Mm, I have 2 minutes.
Damn. All right, I'll have to ask you this question when we come back from break because
Hmm.
there's just something on my mind, and we talked about it, and I'm going to follow your lead. You said
Hmm.
be eloquent,
Hmm.
nice.
Hmm.
So I'm going to be eloquent. I'm going to be nice, but I really do feel some type of way about that scenario,
Hmm.
about that situation. That
I think that's what this platform is for. We got to talk about things, but you got to be smart about how you talk about things. You got to be a grown up about how to talk about things. But what you go through, somebody else is going through also. So I think it benefits our audience to talk real and but you just gotta be respectful of everyone, even people that have hurt you. I want to say hi to Paula. Hi, Paula. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on Facebook or any other streaming service, please share your comments. We might even talk about what you say. So please let us know what you're thinking about whatever we're talking about.
Paul
And
the lady.
huh? Huh?
Paul
What?
said the lady.
Exactly. And I agree. That's a comment I agree with 100%. You know what I mean? Although I will say this, we got 1 minute. I will say this. If someone comes to me with a phenomenal piece of work, I will work with you. I will work with you on what you pay me, just as long as it's respectful. I'm not trying to get rich off of a small, ultra low budget. But if it's amazing, I
Mhm.
do it. You just
Mhm.
gotta make it so I ain't losing no money.
No, I
Huh?
heard what she said.
Mhm. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. You ready to go to commercial?
Give me about one more minute. I gotta set some stuff up. You know me. I'm
Hmm.
always hesitant to
Yeah.
set some stuff up.
I hope you guys are having a nice day out there. It is so beautiful this week. I was like, winter's here Monday, and then Tuesday I was like, oh, okay, I can take a walk and nice and get some sun, some vitamin D. I don't know what it's like the rest of the country, but it is beautiful here today. It's going to be in the 60s. I'm so excited.
Can I
Yeah.
tell you what it's like here?
Hmm.
It's cold as frog shit.
Fog.
Frog shit.
Oh, fog. Got it.
I need like I have no idea what the hell frog shit even sounds like,
Oh,
but
frog with the FROG. I thought you
with
said
an F
frog.
R O G, right,
Oh,
right.
okay. All right. Well, what's happening?
That's how cold it is. Let's just go to break because you just so lost that one.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go to break and we'll see you guys on the other side.
And that's on the radio. Facebook, you'll still hear us.
Yes, of course.
WGFB FM Radio. So are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. The radio can't hear us, but Facebook and everybody else can. So hey y'all.
Hey, how
I'm here
y'all?
with that lady. That
Yes.
lady. I don't know which
Y-
way I'm pointing.
Yeah, I don't know which one either. One of them is right. I'm gonna tell you that.
I don't know which way I'm pointing, but I'm here with that lady. Thank y'all for tuning in. How's everybody doing today? Good morning. Um, Seabreeze has been humping. She been working.
Yes,
She
yes.
been,
I'm.
you know what I mean? She's been filming.
Mhm. I am very happy. I have been working and loving it. Having
Loving it.
loving it.
Loving it.
Mm.
Loving it. Hey, wasn't that a commercial?
Yeah, this is McDonald's.
Okay, yeah, that's it. McDonald's. Dun, 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 dun. Loving it. I'm loving it. All
I
right,
love.
folks, real quick update. It's still 224 to 2 it's still 224 to 213.
Okay.
He needs 270. Trump attacks legitimate vote. Oh boy. I wonder if he practices being a dick or or does it just come natural?
I just think he is who he is.
All right, folks, real quick update. It's still 224 to 2. Yeah, it's still 224 to 213. Pennsylvania's giving an update.
Shoot.
I'm sure you want to talk to Kathy. Any questions? That's. Can you tell us where we stand?
Hey, Deborah. Hey, girl. Hey, Otis. How you doing, babe?
What
Uh,
up, oh? That's DJ Big Street. What up, homie?
hey, man. I don't know. I've been trying to get into voiceover work for the entirety of my career. I had a voiceover agent once, and I never got anything. And I don't know if that was because of my lack of a talent or the lack of my agent's ability to get me a job. But that didn't work for me. I didn't do that for long because I had a baby, and then I just kind of like became a mama. But I know you need to make a reel. You need to make a tape of your different things that you can do. You could sit down, watch TV, write out some commercials. Pause, write
Mm-hmm.
out the commercial, and then you can practice doing it in different voices, and then get, I don't know how many of those you can, and you can go to some voiceover agents and say, "This is my reel. I would really love to do this or do that." You could do some commercials for free just so you can have some real experience, and you can say, "I really did this commercial," whatever. And just get your stuff, get your reel together and just go for it and go try to get that. That's all I know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um
And real quick, Deborah, thank you for tuning in. But no, this is not an interview, dear heart. This is an actual show that Cinda and myself are a part of. We're a partnership. This is a
yes,
radio show.
every
We do this
Wednesday
every
morning.
Wednesday.
Hmm.
Yes. It's not
Yeah.
just an interview. This is just two friends talking.
Yep, two friends talking.
Yep.
But today we just happen to be talking a little bit about some stuff I know. But we're on here every Wednesday. Although, just so you guys know, it looks like we're gonna take a little break in December. I'm working, and
Yeah.
it's the holidays, so we're probably gonna only be half of the month, and then we're gonna take the rest off until January.
Yeah,
So,
probably the first two. Yeah, just the first 2 weeks. Yeah,
hmm
exactly.
hmm
All right,
so
folks, we got 60 seconds, so let me release the audio. CC, you can bring us back.
okay.
I like the way you do it. And you can go now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Melanated Morning Show with Grown Folks Radio. And we did some talking while you guys were listening to some wonderful commercials about, we were continuing our conversation about voiceover work and the fact that this is a radio show. If you did not know, this is a radio show. And I am very excited to be doing something new. Deborah, one of our Facebook. Oh, you're not. Don't be sorry, honey bun. You didn't know, and that's what we're doing now, and or that's what I'm doing now. This man right here, DJ Kid Disco, has been doing radio and production and DJing and all of that for a very, very, very long time with his old ass. But I. By the way, I'm older than him, but
I was gonna say, ain't you my old head?
I am your big sister, but I'm just doing something new. I started this process when COVID hit. I started doing a podcast, the PPC podcast, and found I loved it. And I met this gentle, wonderful man. Okay, did I say gentle? I was lying. I just met this brash man, and he was like, "Hey, do this radio show with me." So I have fallen in love with this process, and plan to do it as long as he'll have me or some radio station will have me because I love talking, as you can tell.
Well, let's give credit to where credit is due.
Shelly Shell, Shelly
Hmm.
Shell Williams, who is part owner of Grown Folks Radio and our DJ Kadisco's mentor, and she's going to be my co-host when I finally do or start the PPC radio show, which at the very latest will be next year. I would like to start before, but it doesn't seem to make sense to start and then go away for 3 weeks and then come back. So we're still working on that, but we are working on it. It's going to be a fabulous show that Shelly's going to do with me. She has her own show, and what's her called? Saturdays.
Single on a Saturday night, which
Staying
by
on Saturday
the way,
night.
is where Cinda and I actually first met.
Mhm.
We were
Mhm.
on. I was helping to produce that show, and Cinda was the guest. And Shelly hit me with it like at the last minute. Oh, by the way, Cinda's coming. Cinda Williams,
Mhm.
Clark, fine ass Cinda Williams, Clark, Cinda Williams,
Mhm.
Mo Better Blues. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
it's been that was now it's history, right?
yeah, and I got bold. I said, because I remember you said, any more questions? I said, yeah. Could you come to my show and be a guest? Remember that?
Mhm. Mhm.
She was like, sure. Now I ain't gonna lie, I thought she bullshitting. She ain't coming. She's like, no, I'm really gonna come. So I messed up the first time and forgot to send you a reminder. Remember?
Right. That's right.
She full of boo boo. She ain't coming. But then she actually called me and said, I'm sorry. No, you text me. You said, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I forgot. I will be there next week. I was like, wow, okay. And she came, and the first interview was with me, you, and Yvette. That's when you first met Yvette Money.
Mhm.
And we had such a great time. I said, you're liking it? She's like, yeah, I love radio. I love being. I said, would you like to come to the morning? I said, no. I said, I got slick. I said, are you a morning person? She says, absolutely. I said, would you like to come to the morning with me again? She's like, sure. I'm not doing anything. So you came to the morning and had a ball.
Mhm.
I said, I really like doing this. I said, yeah, well, would you like to do this on a regular basis? And she was
Mhm.
like, sure. Why don't you show me what to do?
Should I do this every day with you if I, was working? I'll do it every day.
But
Hmm?
remember, we talked about the gods are
Mhm.
shining on us, so that
Mhm.
very well may be.
Mm-hmm.
a reality. All I'm gonna say is this: God bless me. I can't go into details, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Things are moving.
But I know that you're happy for me because I can see the twinkle.
Mm-hmm.
You go,
Mm-hmm.
boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he trying to do some stuff. Yeah, he
Yeah.
trying to do some stuff. So for a little bit, I think we should dive into the election a little bit. That is what's happening for the world, or our world, the United States, and it also affects the world. It affects our allies. It affects our enemies. Um,
Sleep. So
yeah, this.
we might as well talk about it. So thank you, CC, for bringing that up. Let me give
Mhm.
y'all an update on the latest on the Dickhead Chronicles. Yeah, you heard what I said. Um, this idiot at 2:30 something in the morning decides that he wants to claim states that haven't even been counted yet. Yeah, we just won Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin. Well, guess what happened in Michigan and Wisconsin?
What?
He flipped them.
Yeah.
Guess what he's about to do to Pennsylvania?
What?
He ready to flip them,
Hmm.
especially in Philadelphia. We don't like him.
Hmm.
Now, here's the scary part. It looks pretty good. Joe's on his way. The scary part is that Mitch the bitch just may be around a little while longer, like the Crypt Keeper. Fuck.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. It looks like. I was really hoping that he would lose, but it looks like not only is he going to win, his seat again, he also is still going to probably be the Republicans are probably still going to be the majority
Mm.
in the Senate, which means if Biden does win, and it's a if we're not claiming anything, we don't know what's going to happen between now and whenever this is over. If he wins, he's going to still have to negotiate and deal with some people who very, very openly have said they ain't never going to work with no Democrat. They, since Barack Obama, have not worked with Democrats because the thing that amazes me is that there are people out there to talk about how Barack didn't do anything. And it's like, look, he couldn't because of these people that y'all keep voting in. He
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do anything, or he did a whole lot. He worked around some stuff, but it was very difficult because they decided to not give him anything if they could help it.
And
So,
that's
you
exactly
know,
the Biden.
yeah, and so that's the same plan with Biden. So there's so many things that need to happen. But if we keep voting them into the Senate, into the House, if we keep voting them in, nothing will change. We were just going to stay in a stalemate
Mm-hmm.
forever where no one gets help. But one thing I'm learning, say if Mr. Trump is our president, remains our president, you can, if you appeal to his ego, if you appeal to make it, if you make him feel good about himself, he might work with you. That's how I think um what's her name? Kanye West, his wife, was able to get some things done. She was able to get some things done for us, and now what's his name? Ice Cube is working on a project with him, and hopefully, if he loses, he'll take that same project to Biden, to change how the system and with small businesses and loans for people of color. You can get him to work with you if
then,
you appeal to his ego.
but then he works with space cadets like Little Wayne.
Yeah, I heard this the other day, and it's true. Um,
Another what the
I I truly believe, as an artist myself, that there are some brilliant artists out there. There's some brilliant rappers. There's some really smart business women and men out there that are also entertainers. But there are some that just about that their own bank account, you know. Okay, this is perfect time to mention this. This is the image that came to me this morning when I was looking at everything and listening to commentary from Fox and from MSNBC and CNN. I try to listen to it all. I listen to public radio. I read. This is the image that's coming to me when I think of, say, the Lil Wayne or 50 Cents or whatever. Do y'all remember, all you Christians that have read the Bible? You remember the part in the story of Moses. These people have been slaves to the pharaohs for forever. And some of them are very comfortable being slaves. Maybe they're getting a little more, maybe they're in charge of the other slaves, so maybe they have a nicer hovel. They get better scraps of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when this dude Moses talking about, let's go, I'm taking you out of slavery, they may have physically left because they had to leave, right? But they still were slaves in their mind. They still were, I'm not going to get my nice hovel. I'm not going to get my extra, pork. I'm not going to get that. I'd rather go back to that because at least they took care of me. And so what ended up happening is that whole generation, minus just a couple, stayed in the wilderness because they were still slaves in their minds. We have got to break these chains of this mental slavery. Your money is not going to give you freedom. Your money is not going to change our world. It might be good for you, but what is it going to do for your children and your children's children? We have got to break these mental chains of lack. I got to hold on to my money, my taxes. I can't share with nobody. I'm going to make choices about who I give my money to. Forget those little babies in those public schools that ain't got no books. Forget that don't have computers, that don't have other things. Forget the fact that we don't have men and women in color as police officers. We don't have them in our communities. Forget all these things that these tax dollars help us with. It's slavery. It's mental slavery. That is the vision. That's the visual that I get. Maybe I'm wrong,
Good
but
vision. Modern day institute, what they would call institutionalized.
hmm
You
hmm
relying on on the system.
yeah, and the system is fine just as long as you give me something. It's that what's the word? Something out. Um,
Selling out.
selling out. Selling out. Just as long as I got my money, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't care about y'all. But the problem is some of these people are very influential and they influence other people that aren't millionaires or billionaires. They're just regular folks. They might have a nice car. Maybe they got a nice car, but they live in a horrible neighborhood where there is just liquor stores on every corner. But
Mm-hmm.
they're listening to you. They believe in you. They trust you because they listen to your music, or they watch you play on TV. We're all role models if you want to be or not. You know.
Speaking of role models and um, idols, can you announce who you have graciously um, uh, agreed, or I should say, volunteered to interview next week?
Lady B,
I'm
Lady B. All you hip hop historians and people that love this genre know her. And I am so excited to get to know her myself. I am not a historian of any kind of music. I listen, but that's about it for me. So I'm becoming a historian and learning about um, this genre through Lady B. And I'm very excited next week to do that.
icon, idol. Um, do you remember the first time you got that phone call from a major director, and you might have had to go to their house or something to do to seal the deal or whatever, and you're like, wow, am I really sitting here with
Mhm.
such and such? Like,
Mhm.
pinch me. Is this really happening?
It's only happened to me once. I've worked with a lot of great people, but I just didn't have that. I don't know. I My family were the people that I looked up to. I
Mm.
had such brilliant people in my family that that's who I looked up to. So I wasn't really a person that looked out there. But I did one time have a meeting with John Malkovich. And that was one time that I was like, because I was such a fan of his work. He was one of my favorite and still is one of my favorite actors. And so when I met with him to possibly do a movie, it didn't happen. But he wanted me in this movie that ended up getting shelved. But it was such a brilliant experience to meet this person, have coffee with him, and talk to him and learn about him. So, yes, I understand that, but it's not quite the same. It's
What
not quite the same.
remember your first big call? You're like,
I tell you who called me. I mean, a lot of people would smirk at this, but at the time it was huge. I remember I was at home in bed. I just broken up with my boyfriend. I was getting ready to move to LA. I was very, very sad. And my phone rang and I was like, hello. And back then there weren't no cell phones yet.
mm,
And I heard this iconic voice like, is may I speak to Cinda Williams? I can't do it. I don't do those kind of voices. And I knew immediately who it was and was freaking out because I looked at my phone. I'm like, how the heck he get my number? It was Bill Cosby,
really?
and he just called me out of the blue one Saturday morning. I was laying in my bed. I wasn't working that day, and he called me and he was like, I'm really hearing wonderful things about you. I'm so excited for you. This was before the movie had come out, before Mo Better had come out, a whole year ahead of time. It was after I finished shooting it, before I was getting ready to go to LA and start shooting One False Move.
Mm.
And I actually, by then I didn't know I was going to move yet. I still hadn't decided to move to LA yet. And he's like, I would really like to meet you and introduce you to the cast of the Cosby Show. So let my assistant know all your information, and we can plan you to come and meet everyone. That was that threw me for a loop. I was a fan. I wasn't like I was a huge fan of the show. And I respected his work as a comedian and all the things that he had done. He was changing things in the business for people of color, and so it was a huge deal to get that phone call from him. And actually, I spent quite a few years hanging out with him, and I never did go to the house in Philly. I was invited to go and I did not go,
Mm.
because I just didn't want to. There was some things going on. I didn't want to go. I did a concert. Well, it was like one of those radio stations. It was one of the biggest radio stations in Philly, and they were having a live concert with the people that had hits at the time. And Harlem Blues was a hit.
Probably got
And
yes.
yeah, and so I was in that show, and that was the biggest audience I had ever performed for. It was like 80,000 people,
Was it?
and no, it was in a big stadium. It was like a basketball stadium size.
Might have been Powerhouse. That might have been
Yes, yes,
Pow-
yes.
I remember that year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Mm.
She was
Yeah.
9 at that time. See how iconic she really is in this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing, and that I was in Philly for that, and I ended up staying in a hotel and whatever. But then when I moved to LA, I hung out with Mr. Cosby, and he always would have these dinner parties, and I would take my husband at the time with me and learned so much and got to really, get to know this icon, and it was a great experience for me. I know other people had other experiences, unfortunately, but I always had a man by my side, so I bypassed any of those things. But you know what? It is time for a commercial break. And I think we need to go on and take it. Iris, thank you for joining us. Please stick with us. We're going to pay our bills right now, and then we will be back.
Yeah, I believe we will be back. Hopefully, we'll be back. No, let
Oh,
me.
we better be back.
We,
We got more to talk about.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. All right, Facebook, y'all can still hear us, but the radio's not going to be able to hear us. So, yeah.
Mm.
Folks Radio. WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right
Right back. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that Facebook? After these messages, we'll be right back. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay. We are so knocking it out the box. Yay!
Yay!
Team Melanated, Team Melanated.
Yep. So I'm gonna
So,
get you. I know Facebook. I don't care if you hear this, but I'm gonna get you that podcast as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna do my little short little segments and send them to you.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
Facebook, you get to be in on the creative process that goes on behind the scenes of the PPC podcast.
yeah. How's the sound by the way on this on
Great.
this? Okay, good. I'm gonna
Oh,
use it today
you know I would have
because
said something by now.
I noticed I noticed that when I use the phone and those other earphones, I kind of sound like for some reason I sound kind of nasal. I don't know why.
Facebook, did y'all hear that?
Seriously, I
That
sound
was
nasal.
funny. You said nasal. Like the remember the lady who was the operator? What number are you calling?
Hmm. Yeah, uh, I was definitely sounded like that, and I don't like that. So I
Oh my goodness. Speaking of iconic actors,
mhm.
R.I.P. Sean Connery.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh
James Bond passed.
wow, Sean Connery's gone. That's I mean, he was. I don't know how old was he in his 80s?
Yeah, he was kind of old. He was up there.
Yeah. Well, God bless him. God bless his family.
Here's the part y'all get to see Facebook as my dog acts stupid. I'm glad that we're not on the air for him to hear him. So
Oh
shut
my
up.
gosh, that's a huppy. That's a loud Cupid. Cupid.
And he's a little ass dog.
That's the loudest ones are the little ones.
Yeah, just like men. The short,
Mhm.
loudest ones.
Mhm. They gotta be to be seen. Hey, down here. Hey, down here.
That's true. Well, I
Oh,
want to thank Deborah for joining in. She's been tuning in. Big Street, thank you for tuning in.
yeah, and Paula Lily Tomlin. That's right. That's what I sound like the last few weeks on my podcast. For some reason, I was using. Let me show you. I was using this microphone because my microphone busted. I don't know what happened to it. So I was using.
You know what? I can't speak bad about who you got it from because they're actually our sponsor. Damn, I just told it, but
Oh well, we won't say anything, but it doesn't work anyway. So I was using this little thing to do my podcast, and I sound just like Lily Tomlin. I do. It sounds so nasal. I can't stand it. And I don't understand why. I'm not sure why it sounds like that. So I gotta
Mm.
do it a different way. I can't do that. I don't like the way I sound.
Yeah,
So
we had some production struggles, but I'm just that good that I was able to work it out.
you are so good. You're so amazing, and that's why you got this new opportunity coming.
I know that's right. Let's just pray
Mm-hmm.
on it. Dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we get ready to go back in 10 seconds.
Awesome.
You can bring us back.
Okay.
And you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown folks radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio. Radio.
Welcome back to the Grown Folks Radio Melanated Morning Show. We have been having some interesting conversations, a little bit of politics and a little bit of life. Um, we don't like to dwell too long on difficult things. I mean, we want to be real, we want to talk about stuff, but at the same time, we don't want to bog you down with what you already are listening to and watching yourselves. So we want to talk about other things.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
already know Trump is a dickhead and he ain't shit.
we know all these things. We know what we our opinions, and so sometimes we got to talk about that, but sometimes we want to talk about other things. And on that note, can I bring up a subject matter that I wanted to talk about something right quick.
Yeah.
So last week, Sophia, my daughter, and I went to Sacramento to shoot a movie. I went to shoot a movie, which I am very excited about. It's called Mad as Hell. It's kind of like a updated version of Heat, if you've ever seen that movie,
Robert De
with
Niro.
with Robert De Niro and Al
Right,
Pacino.
join with her.
Yeah,
Al.
yeah. I'm the cop. I play the cop in this version, and who's after the guy that's being a vigilante.
Uh,
Um, this guy named Robert Parham directed, wrote a phenomenal script, and is acting and playing the part. If you haven't heard of Robert Parham, he's an amazing, amazing martial artist and winner of many big, international titles. So, but he started making movies, and we met last year on a film where he directed me, and he's another. I got so many brothers. I always was like overwhelmed with all the sisters I have, but I got a lot of brothers now, little brothers.
I'm with
Yes, yes, DJ Kid Disco is one of them. But Robert is so amazing. I love working with him. Anyway, I took Sophia with me. And because since she's in acting school, if I'm doing a movie and she can go, I want her there so she can experience what it's like. And she decided to volunteer. She's like, I said, don't be shy, go do you, see if they need any help. And she went and she's like, look, I'm here if you need me. Anything you need me to do, I'll do it. And so they were like, really? She said, yeah. So they put her to work. She's working for free. But she ended up being the boom operator for the movie because the person that was supposed to do it for some reason didn't show up. And which was crazy for, sound is so key, and independent film sound can really suck. And so she got to learn how to carry the sound pack, and she was the one that said rolling, and she was the one that was in there. She's so strong. She's a little girl, she's 5'7", but she's super muscular, and she had that boom and didn't complain 1 second. Anything they needed from her, she did it. And so they started asking questions about her. And Robert had worked with her as an actress before. And so he knew that she was good. And because she was willing to work for free, to volunteer, to not complain, to be a part of a crew and not be getting any financial things out of it, but just be such a good, open, fun person, she got work from it. She's got a couple of movies that she's gonna get to do coming up here soon. One in December and one in January. That would have never happened if she had not been a part of it. She could have sat in my dressing room, stayed on the phone playing games and talking to people on social media. But instead of that, she put her phone down, she got out and she participated, and she's just the good girl that she is, and it paid off for her. I get so many calls from people, how do I break in? What do I do? Blah blah blah, and they're good questions. But sometimes it's not about the talent. Sometimes it's about who you know and what type of person you are. I stopped auditioning for movies by I did this movie called The Tie That Binds. That was the last real audition.
Okay.
Everything else was an offer. So I got jobs for 28 years based on me. Sometimes it was based on they liked me as an actress and they wanted to work with me. But more often than not, it was based on the fact that they just liked me and they wanted to give me a shot. They wanted to give me a job because they knew I could carry the roles, I could do the work. But more than that, they just thought I was cool. I was down to earth. I was nice and fun to be around. That is why I have worked for 30 years.
See, but
So, what's that?
you're doing it again.
What am I doing?
You know how I do your podcast every week, and every week I'm like, damn, that was deep. You hit me with something that hit home.
Yeah, I mean,
You did it again just now.
talent is so important, especially for longevity.
And
But
integrity.
giving of yourself, being a good person, a decent person, that is what gets you in so many doors. And oftentimes people will not be very nice, honestly. They just won't. And you will say within a couple of years, where did they go? That's where they went. They went home because they weren't nice. And they were so high on themselves because they were talented. Because there's some super talented, nasty people out there. But the talent is not what opens the doors often. It's who you are as a person. So that is my gift to whoever's listening out there that might want to do this stuff or anything for that matter. If you want to be a DJ, say, if you want to be, work in somebody's office, you volunteer, give of yourself, be kind, be cool, be fun, for real,
Be
be
real.
yourself.
I want to go into that for a minute. The
Mhm.
person that hired me recently, I'm not going to say name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
They said that to me publicly and privately that they love my passion, they love my knowledge, of course. They love my passion. They heard about and good review of my integrity as a person. Talent goes in there too,
Mhm.
but that's not what attracted them from the beginning. It was my integrity and my passion that I'm willing to do this for free. And I remember you, and we're going to talk about Shelly for a minute. Shelly revealed this to me uh, in a live interview about 2 weeks ago. And I was telling the story because it was an interview about me, but Shelly was there, of course.
Mhm.
And I was telling the story um, because actually, real quick, before we went to break, you were telling your first big call story.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I was getting ready to say somebody else, but that person is not really my first big call. You know what my first big call was?
What?
Shelly.
Mhm.
That was my first big call years ago when she called me and asked me if I wanted to be the DJ, the resident DJ on Urban Expressions. To me, that was a big deal because Urban Expressions at that time was such a legendary show. Had already, so to me, when she called Shelly Williams, get out of here,
Mhm.
But yeah, recently, And here was the boldness of it. And I am going to talk about this publicly because this is me and Shelly's station, but for the most part, it's my shit. So I can say what the bleep I want to say. And this particular situation, I will blast. Some people had the nerve to come to my platform and tell me what I can and cannot talk about. And they were at the forum was supposed to be how to start an internet. Don't worry about commercials. We can keep on going. They were asking how to start an internet radio station, how to build. So I'm trying to pay it forward. And I'm telling someone asked me to tell the story, basically of how I met you, you know. So I'm telling the story of how Grown Folks Radio got to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So I get cut off. Disco, we love you, but we don't need to hear your story. We just want to know how you got the hookup. Wow. First of all, my story is the hookup. My hookup, how did I get it, the hookup? I'll tell you how I got the hookup. I was just being genuine. I genuinely went to Cinda and asked her, if you help me, I'll help you. Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
And I remember what you said to me. I will never forget this, and this goes right along with what we were talking about. I never forget when you said this. It was kind of raunchy, but it was real. It was real what you said. Because I remember you said, "Listen, it's COVID. Ain't nobody working. I ain't got no whole bunch of money to pay you, but I need this production work done." And remember, I said to you, I said, "When did I ask you for money? I don't want your money. I just want somebody who's already in somewhere in the industry, some kind of way, to just believe in me and back me. I just want your name to." And I remember you paused for a minute. I remember you said to me, like, "Wow." And this is when I knew you was real. You said, "Wow, I've been doing this shit for 30 some odd years, and I've never had nobody say that to me. They either want money or ass or both." Remember you said that?
Yes.
And you said, "This is genuine. I would love to work with you for those very reasons."
Yep.
Like,
It was very refreshing. It
yeah.
was refreshing because what he said is true. I mean, especially dealing with men. Women, they don't want nothing to do with me, which hurts me. I don't know why. I love my sisters and they just don't love me back. But men, it's always something. It's usually sex. That's what they want. Or a nice big paycheck. And you know what? I want to pay everybody. I love to share. As a matter of fact, that's one of my downfalls because I give everything away instead of investing it in myself. I give it away. But oh my goodness, I that does not happen that someone says, "Look, let's help each other." That's all I want to do is help each other. Everybody want to know why I don't have a CD out there, I don't have music out there. That is why. Because I have met so many producers, so many music producers, the good ones especially, who don't want nothing to do with me unless they get one of those things. And it's like, I guess I'm not meant to put it out there. I guess that's not what's going to happen. You know, it's unfortunate, but I'm okay with it because if I have to give up my integrity to get some music to y'all, it's not going to happen. You got to come hear me live or I'll release a song here or there when I can pay for it, but I'm not trying to do that. It's not that important to me. So I really appreciate DJ Kid Disco because he's opened some doors for me that I never even thought about in the past. Sometimes you got to be broken in order for you to be stronger. And COVID broke a lot of us. That's kind of what my next it is what my next podcast theme is. It's called "Sometimes It Takes a Loss." Sometimes you got to lose to win. And
Mama used to say that.
mhm.
Or she's also say sometimes you gotta be wrong to be right.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes perfectly good sense. But what I was gonna say was Shelly, in reference to Grown Folks Radio, I was saying, we were in the interview and they was asking me to tell the story, and I was telling the story. And I was saying, this is a different interview from the
Mhm.
told you about. And I was like, well, I had to beg Shelly to come in and be my partner, you know. And she was like, no, you didn't have to beg me. I was helping you all along behind the scenes. I just had to see something first.
Mm.
The light bulb went off. I knew
Mm.
exactly what she was talking about. She wanted to see if I was serious
Mm.
or if I was just doing it as a new hobby to try to compete. Because at that time, you remember we were getting ready to leave another station,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in my feelings about that.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to make sure that I wasn't just on some, you know. And once she saw that I was serious, she was like, she dove in.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that experience too, where I've had lots of people that talk a lot. They say such nice words. You
Mm.
know, they do. They say the best. What does the president say? They use the best words,
Mm.
but they do nothing but talk. And I'm actually in the middle of something right now. I'm praying to God that the talk turns into action because the words are perfectly right. I love those words, but words are powerful, but you got to have action. You got to do something. I mean, you and I could have sat and talked on the phone about what we were going to do and never did anything at all. We could have just talked about it and you do your thing and I'll do my thing and never did anything. Sometimes you got to act. Sometimes you got to follow up your dreams with action. You can't just say, "Okay, this is what I want," and say positive affirmations about I am rich, I am wealthy, I am prosperous. But then go to your same old job where you ain't making enough money to pay your bills and do nothing to change your situation. You got to do more than talk. You got to do more than talk.
Because of people like you, I was able to turn a very scary time. Because I'm not going to lie, when COVID first hit, I was scared to death about the world. I'm like, damn, the fucking world is coming to an end. Like, what are we going to do? I was in here tripping. And my wife was like, Eddie, I need you to just find something that you like to do and just calm down. Like, man. And I remember this is back when COVID first hit and the country first got locked down. Everybody and their brother was DJs, scratch and sniff, whatever, doing live sets on Facebook. So, I mean, Roland Martin had his big black ass up there. I'm like, God damn, this is getting saturated. This is getting monotonous. I said, I want to start interviewing people. And I did. I interviewed some key DJs here in Philly. And that started to take off. And people started liking it because people started copying it. You know, I guess they say somebody copying your work is the best compliment. I think it sucks ass, but I get I get the thought process. And then I ran into Shelly. She was doing karaoke one night. You know, bored shitless in the house doing karaoke. And I did the same thing to her I did to you on her live. I said, Shelly, would you like to? Because by that time I decided, you know, I'm going to start interviewing people because this music shit is everybody and their brother doing. I want to be different. So I said, Shelly, would you like to come to my show? Because that's when the light bulb went off. You know me, the opportunist that I am. I was like, Shelly, hey, we're friends. She's a good interview. And I interviewed Shelly, and we got back into business cahoots. And my first good interview during COVID, and I'll never forget this person because she said something profound, and I used it and still using it, was Miss Shelley. And I remember Shelly called me about 9:30 on a Sunday night, like, can you set up a Zoom? I got somebody to interview. I was like, yeah, set up tomorrow. Who? She's like, no, I need you set up in the next 10 minutes. What are you talking about? Miss Chalet. Shit, you didn't say nothing but a word. And I remember Miss Chalet said something very profound, and that's when my light bulb went off. This was before you and I even met. And she said, we were talking about COVID, and she said, you know, if it wasn't for COVID, you wouldn't have got this long of an interview, because she hung out with us for like an hour on a Sunday night. And she's like, wasn't for COVID, you wouldn't have got this interview. And I said, you're right. Thinking to myself, I said, this is the time to really build what you've been thinking about building for the last umpteen years, or building for other people. This is the time to do it. Everybody's home.
Mhm.
Start making phone calls. Put it together. And
Yep.
here we are as a result of COVID. So I
Yeah, I mean,
it worked for me.
if COVID isn't something to tear you down, so much loss, so much loss,
Mm,
and but if you believe, I believe that this is, when you pass on, it's not the end. I more than believe it. I know it. We have had a lot of loss, but we've had a lot of gain. People have found themselves in ways that they didn't even realize. Children have found their parents. Parents have found their children. Our air is cleaner than it's been in who knows how long. We're not using so much gas. We're not, there's just so many ways that our consciousness has shifted. So you are absolutely right by saying and thinking that the world was coming to an end. The world as it is, or as it was, has come to an end. And if we go 4 more years with a Trump presidency,
mm.
it does not change this wave of change that is happening. People are waking up. People are fighting against uh, oppression. They are fighting. They are waking up. They're loosening the chains. And then there are also those that are fighting for the opposite. They're fighting to keep things the same because they're comfortable with the things that they are afraid of evolution. They're afraid of it.
Go.
But you know what? You can't stop this change. You can't. It's happening now, and our dear president has been a big part of why we have this change. And for that, I say thank you, Mr. President. It may not be what the kind of compliment that you want, but because of him, he has shown us the racism in this country. He has shown us the ones that want to keep themselves in power. He has shown us the brutality that we experience on a daily basis. Nobody knew. White people did not believe the stuff we were talking about how police were. They didn't believe it, but then they got to see it because of COVID, because they were sitting their tails at home bored. They got to see it. They didn't have any sports to distract them, any entertainment to distract them, couldn't go to movies to distract them. So they saw, and they couldn't ignore it anymore. And there are some people that saw it and said, you know what? I don't care. If you want to call me a racist, I'm a racist. I love me some Trump and I love me some cops, and I don't care that they kill you. And now we know that they feel that way. That is transitional. That is change that we can count on. And amen to it. It's hard. It's not pretty. It's stressful, but you got to have change in order to evolve.
Stuff is changing. I'm gonna tell you how great stuff is changing. I live in Pennsylvania, right? I live in Philadelphia. New Jersey voted yesterday, and
For we,
they made marijuana.
yes, they did. There was three states that did.
Yeah,
Three more states. Three more states, including Jersey.
you knew I was gonna talk about that, right?
Of course, I was waiting for it. I left that to you because I knew that was something you were gonna be screaming hallelujah about. Three more states I can go smoke weed in freely. Amen. I knew it.
20 minutes for me.
hmm
I can go get my shit and come back over, and I can do it all on the train.
You're hilarious. Can I say hi to Michael Jenkins? Yes, stay true to yourself. That is, I'm hearing you, babe. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm
Stay
not.
true.
Can you take care
Hmm?
of that? I'm not reading Facebook.
I'm trying to read it. And Michael Jenkins, he left a message. He said, "Stay true to yourself no matter what. That director who threatened to blackball you has some kind of fetish, and you tore his dream up. It made him angry. You are responsible only to yourself. Do you?" And that's what we all got to do. We got to do you, do us. And that's why I say no matter what happens with by Friday or whenever this stuff will be finalized, if it's Biden, we got to hold him to the fire. They
Mm.
better do some changing, man, as much as they can. With the Congress that'll fight them, there are still things that they can push for.
Wait,
And hmm,
hold on. Let's correct ourselves on one thing. Congress is not in danger. It's not the House that's in danger. It's the Senate. See, here's what the problem is. Congress will probably stay blue. It's blue now. It's probably going to stay blue. The problem is they're going to write the laws. It's going to go to the Senate. Mitch the bitch is going to kick it back. And we're not going to vote on it.
Yeah, we still lost some House votes. I mean, we lost some House folks. We didn't lose it completely, but we still lost some members in the House. It went to red. It went to Republicans. Um, but yeah, the Senate is going to stay. The majority is going to be Republican, and that does make things very difficult for any president that's not got the Trump thing happening. It does, but there are still changes that can be made. And Biden is good for negotiating because he, as much as the lies about him being a socialist, all that crap, that's lies. That man's record does not show that. He is very moderate. He
What?
is.
You know what's interesting? Shelley and I and a few others, shout out to Danielle Patterson and Anthony Anthony Williams and Rockstar P. We did a political show Sunday, and you had the Generation Xers versus the millennials.
Mm-hmm.
Tearfully, the millennials were for
Mm.
tearfully black millennials, and they brought up the crime bill, and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, let me say this: when that crime bill was written and all of that good shit, guess where I was on my way to?
Prison, jail.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right, to the penitentiary. Guilty as hell. Okay, they said, well, he called y'all predators. Motherfucker, I was. I had a gun in my hand. I was robbing someone. That's kind of predatory, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something, and I'll go on record saying this. I don't care if y'all like it. I was in the penitentiary for 14 months, and let me tell you something. 70 to 75% of them dudes that came in there was guilty as fuck, and was sitting there trying to contemplate how they can become more guilty when they get out.
Mm-hmm.
So all that prison reform, it sounds good. You want to reform the prisons? Don't fucking go. That's how you reform the prisons. Stay out. I got out of that bitch and never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even wear the color orange for that very reason.
I'm telling them.
Orange in my bed.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, so many people. There's so many followers. Somebody they listen to, they like, that may or may not know what they're talking about, talked about something. Instead of researching and reading and understanding on their own, they just made a decision. Oh, I don't like them for this, or I don't like them for that. But Trump, who is knowing, who wouldn't rent to you if you were black? He wouldn't rent to you. There's so many things that man has done, corrupt things that you guys are ignoring because of the crime bill, because people went to jail that needed to go to jail. You see what I'm saying? The same thing with Kamala. You know, she was hard on black men, but only the ones that committed the crime. And she really went after rapists. They were all these rapists that had gotten off and were not going to jail. She put their tail in jail. I'm sorry. If some of those men were black, they needed to go to jail because they committed the crime. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you're anti-black because you put some folks in jail that's supposed to go to jail. If somebody raped my baby, I don't care what color they are. I want them to go to jail. I want them to change. I want them to be rehabilitated. And she also did a lot with rehabilitation, but they don't talk about that. They are being used and manipulated by the right. They're used and manipulated, and they don't even know it. They're fighting against themselves, man.
And let me say this, folks. Let me say this. YouTube is not a credible fact-checking source. Any fool that has internet access can get on YouTube and say some retarded shit. Okay? That is not a credible source. That's not something you want to reference if you're going to write a book report. If you want to really check some facts, read a book.
Yeah.
Remember, Remember Riff?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Reading is fundamental.
Oh. Oh yeah. It
Remember that?
is.
Remember that
Mhm.
commercial? Riff, RIF. Yep.
Everything you need to know is there.
In the book.
Everything you need to know is right there. You don't have to go on YouTube. You don't have to listen to your professor even. You can find the information. Somebody's written it. Now it's a lot of books. Yeah, you got to figure out which ones, and it's so easy to get your own to find something that agrees with you, you know. But there are some things that are just facts. It's written down. It's in the paperwork. Like for instance, when they decided to create a white and black person. It didn't used to be that. It didn't used to be white people, black people, yellow people. It used to be Irish people, Italian people,
Right.
African, Nigerian people. Depending on the country you were from, that's what you were. It wasn't no color thing. They created that because poor people were pulling together and fighting back. So they were like, oh, we got to find a way to separate these folks. How do we do that? Oh, white, light skin, dark skin. That'll keep them. So we'll give white people, the poor whites, a little bit more, give them a little bit more responsibility, and then the light skin will give them less than the whites, but more than the dark skins. And that way, we'll have the dark skins fighting the light skins, fighting the whites, fighting everybody, and everybody fighting, and no one paying attention to the people with money that are keeping the money and are keeping the power and keeping us poor. That's real. That's all in writing. It's all there. If you pick up a book and read about it, it's all there.
Boom. That part. That part right there. It's right there. Don't believe it. Don't. Flavor. Speaking of hip hop genre, Flavor. Not Flavor. I don't know why I'm saying Flavor. That idiot. Chuck D said it best. Don't believe the hype. Actually, it was Flav that did that sound bite. Listen, don't use sound bites as a reference point. Like these commercials that have been running are just such a ridiculous pack of Come on, dude. You don't even believe that bullshit. Last night when Trump said that stupid stuff about claiming false claims, Pence came right behind him and was like, I know Pence was saying stuff. Asshole. Why did you say that? He says, well, we're not claiming victory just yet. We're waiting for the count. He's saying what you're supposed because he's an actual politician. He knows how to lie. This asshole don't know how to lie. Like, I just keep thinking, I don't know why I think of some of the most ridiculous movies when I think of him probably because he's ridiculous. Mel Brooks, History of the World Part 1. There was a part where he was in the Roman times, and he's performing at the palace. So he starts talking about fat guys. He said, "Yeah, he's so fat," and the guy said, "Get off fat." His manager's like, "Get off fat, get off fat." Like you're gonna piss him off. Like I know when Trump talks, his people's gotta be like, "No, shut the fuck up. What are you doing?" Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, how do I? What are you doing?
But you know what, though? I do want to talk about this a minute. I just want to talk about this. There is this concept called the law of attraction. Some people know about it, some people don't. The law of attraction is basically whatever you want, you can have if you believe you already have it, right? You attract it to you. President Trump is a law of attraction person. That is why he lies so much because he is practicing that. He will say what he wants every time is true, not the truth as we see it, but the truth as he wants it. He practices it and it works for him. Because if you tell what you want, if you say out loud what you want enough and act as if it is true, other people will start to believe you and it will shift. It is a physics, it's in physics. You can shift a belief system based on believing that it's true.
Now, for those of y'all from the hood, it's called the art of bullshit. My
but it's not bullshit. It's how you change. You can physically change your brain
it's the
even.
art of bullshitting. That's the art. That's the oldest street trick in the book. Bullshitting. Like, we've met. You've even met these people, especially in your industry, that got everybody believing that they're a big
Ooh.
that and the other in the industry. Like, well, and finally, you ever been at a, like a celebrity party or something? Like, well, who's that? Well, I thought he came with you. I thought he came with you.
Mhm. I have a quote unquote manager that that bullshitted me.
Like,
I truly believed that he was this big shot manager. I believed it. He had all of these people on tape, all these huge names on tape. Yes, I manage this person, I manage that person, I manage this person, I manage that person. And they were on tape and they were saying, yes, so and so manages me. And he's a great manager.
oh,
So I was like, I need a manager.
well,
I need to work, right? You know,
yeah,
I'm getting back into business. I need some help getting back into business. He's in LA.
right.
Turn out he does this to everyone he meets. He calls them all. He says the right words. He shows them these videos of all these other people. And then he does nothing
Mm,
but keeps on getting other names based on the names that he has that he does nothing for. Total con artist. He
mm,
never did nothing for me but talk about in one conversation, maybe two, talked about what he could do. And these people are proof that he could do it. And one of the things he asked me to do before I could sign a contract was make a video
mm-hmm.
saying that he was my manager.
Mm.
Did nothing. But he has me on tape
Saying,
saying that he's my manager. So using me, getting other clients based on me, but doing nothing. And I ended up talking to a whole bunch of people, and they were like, and then I was getting calls from folks that I hadn't heard from or whatever, like, are you working with this guy? He says he's your manager. He's out telling everybody that he's my manager if they fall into my category, right? He would use somebody else in a different group of people.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Cinda Williams, she loves working with me. She loves this, she loves that. She's, blah 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 blah. I ain't talked to that man but once.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there in the business that does that. That
It's insanity. How
see,
they're snakes. They're snakes.
but we got a DJ here in Philly that does that, and he's on the run to this day for that very reason. Would book himself saying that I'm with such and such, take the upfront booking money from the promoters, and then, pew,
Mm.
but study using everybody's name.
Yep.
It's a
You
bit.
know, guess who's um who's saying something? Malik. Hey, honey.
Malik,
Malik Truth is on.
first of
Thank you for listening in.
tunes in every time.
That's my buddy. Thank you. I love, like I said, another little brother. Now he's really a little brother. He's a youngster. He, but he's a smart man, and he's a little brother I'm learning from. But
Yeah.
he says what the f is going on with this election?
Mhm.
And he's talking about that, and he said it is true to life that people clout chase. Oh, that's a new term I've never heard. Clout chase. Yeah, it
Cla-
is true.
Let me tell you something about Malik. Anytime that we go live from Grown Folks Radio, Malik
Mhm.
too, he's really become a friend to the station.
Thank you, Malik.
Yeah,
We're gonna have you on again because you got too much in you. He got so much in him to say.
yeah, he got a lot.
Mm,
He's been
mm.
invited to the Man Show. He's been invited to Melanated. Speaking of Melanated After Dark, I'm lunching. I want to say R.I.P. to our very good friend, who actually started the Melanated Morning show when it was just a baby podcast. Him and I go all the way back to Boston. When I was running around in Boston selling CDs and other stuff. We just gonna leave it at that. Other stuff. And he wound up becoming a DJ later on, and we hooked back up, and we actually started the Melanated Morning show together. Biscuit Chaser, aka DJ Showtime, he was having a battle with cancer for the last year, and he passed yesterday.
Mm.
So tonight at 10 p.m., all of us are getting back together. Miss Bella, Only for You, and Mojo's coming back for tonight. And we're just going to pay some respects and play some old funny episodes from prior that will have you in the floor peeing on yourself. Yeah, I just want to send a rest in peace out to
Yeah, we've been saying that far too often.
yeah.
We've been saying it so much, and
Pass away.
yeah.
Well,
Y'all, Malik, he got this thing called Entanglement of the Mind Expo. Y'all need to check that out. Go to Elias, ILLYAS, Malik Jenkins to see what he's got going on. It sounds like something that could be very helpful, mind, body, soul kind of thing. And I want to shout him out because he's such a supporter. And
hold down for 2 seconds. I want to go upstairs and get something. I gotta show everybody this before we get off the air. Hold on.
okay, because we got 7 minutes or so, 8 minutes.
Guys, Miss minutes that we got. This is our shit, remember?
Okay, all right,
I gotta go get something.
go get it. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about his thing. It's called LIE International, sponsored by V Rhinetone Entanglement of the Mind Expo. They've got vendors, they got workshops, food, music, raffles, featured speakers. Are you on here? Are you speaking? I'm not sure, but I know that it's happening in Las Vegas, 7207 West Sahara Avenue, number 105. It's an expo, and if you guys are out in Vegas or they're close by, November 14th, 2020, 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. You should check it out.
What she said. Cece.
Yes. Ah, the lifestyle, volume 1.
Look at what she did. Can you see it?
Uh-huh. Kid Disco, that's your autograph. That's wonderful.
She says, thanks, Kid Disco, to the coolest DJ ever. Your support is so appreciated. Love, why, money. I want y'all to go to Amazon and pick this book up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Isn't it nice looking?
It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. You know what? Speaking of someone saying nice about you, this guy gave you a shout out. I don't know if you saw it or not. No. That was so beautiful. His name is Matthew David Miller. And he said, your early morning mixes on Grown Folks Radio show really give me joy to hear and learn about disco like never before. The dude is a music lover with a gentle joy, and it's contagious and amazing how much he knows.
Where am I missing this at? I'm not seeing it.
It's not on ours. It was on something that you did with Lucinda. It was a comment, beautiful comment.
Oh.
He just put it yesterday. Put that out there.
Matthew is a friend to sing on the Saturday night. Matthew shows up. Matthew cool as hell. Mm-hmm. Matthew's my light-skinned friend, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's my light-skinned. Matthew cool as shit. Real quick, can I make a real quick announcement, Cece?
Sure.
Starting Thursday, I'm going to have a new co-host.
All right.
Her name is Philly Beauty because she's from Philly and she's a beauty.
Oh, wow. I like that.
She's from Philly. We go
Mhm.
way back. She ignorant as fuck.
My kind of girl.
You know I like that kind of shit. Big bucket loads and shit. But she real. So what we're gonna do one day, Cece,
Mhm.
she has this thing she does the heart, and I thought that you would like this. She does tarot reading
Mm.
and she does, the horoscope.
Mhm.
So she's gonna co-host with me, but she's gonna come on the show with you and I.
Cool.
A little. We're gonna let her do a little tarot reading and horoscope thing.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Maybe we'll let her come and
Oh.
do like a little 10-minute segment or whatever.
Mhm. That'll work.
'Cause
That'll work.
she was excited about. I get to meet Cinda Williams. I know she is. I like her. Okay.
Mhm.
If you want to come, I say because I know Cece. She's into that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
The voodoo that you do so well.
Mhm.
I said, oh, she would like that. So I just want to make that announcement. And I am so excited about that because me and her go way back. I ain't gonna lie.
Beautiful.
Get high, buddy. I mean, I can't lie.
Mhm.
Shit, and since we're shouting out, CJ, Larissa, it was every time I watch that interview, I crack up. I can't wait for y'all to come back, but
Well,
especially
have you seen the movie yet?
no.
It's out on Amazon Prime. You gotta watch it.
And
Um,
is one of our sponsors, and we can appreciate. So I have no excuse.
it,
Tomorrow,
it came out Friday, I think, and it's out now. So please check it out. The Misadventures of Mistress Maneater.
I didn't know it was out yet. I thought
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
it came out till next year.
No, it's out now. So check it out. It's funny.
Did you watch it yet?
I've seen it before, but I worked this weekend, so I haven't had a chance yet. But we will definitely be watching it, even though we've seen it. My daughter hasn't seen it yet, so
Oh
we'll
no,
check it out.
Cece hasn't seen it yet. Has William Lee seen it?
Oh yeah, he's in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's in it. His brother Evan Lee is in it, and uh, the part is kind of funny. Hopefully, they're gonna do the sequel because uh, they'll, especially William, will have an even bigger role in the next one if we do that. So watch it so we can have a sequel.
But Soph hasn't seen it yet.
Not yet. Mm-mm.
I think me and the wife need to watch. How long is the movie altogether?
It's a regular movie. It's like maybe an hour and 40 or something like that.
I think
But
that
it's,
we
it's
might
kind
do Sunday since the Eagles are having a bye weekend.
mm-hmm.
Bye week. So.
Malik said that he lost a friend. He went to work, but he lost a friend to COVID-19. Bruce Williamson of the Temptations passed away from COVID. So say a prayer for his family.
COVID is a mother.
And mhm,
So I think I just shouted out everybody. I want to again.
mhm,
I just want to say publicly, as much as I keep saying it privately, Monica, Yvette Money, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for everything you have done. Thank you. You know,
cool.
you know what I'm talking about too.
hmm One thing we didn't talk about today that maybe we'll talk about next week is my mom. But I'll say she's still with us.
I'm sorry.
She That's okay. She's still with us, and I'll tell you the journey we've been on. I'll talk about that next week because it's something you gotta. If you got parents that are up there and they're in the system at all, you got to pay attention, or they trying to kill these people.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that next week.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom is still with us. She's slowly healing.
Thank you.
So thank you for your prayers and please continue to do so. Appreciate you.
And me being who I called you like you all right, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you all right. Don't. I ain't gotta come out there fuck nobody up, do I? I can't see where I'm swinging, but
If they continue on the road that they've been on, we're gonna get them with the. We're gonna sue the crap out these people. So
ching, that's what hurts them the most.
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna close out. We're still at 224, 213. Hopefully, by the time Cece and I meet back up, we'll be talking about.
Whatever's going on, whatever it is, y'all, please know there is nothing out there that controls you. No leader, no whatever. You make your choices. You change your life. It's so important to have good leadership, but if things happen in a different way, then you got to just take control. Don't let nothing stop you.
And now,
No matter what.
and now the election's over. I'd like to make a couple announcements. Need y'all. Don't call me no more. Don't text me about who I'm voting for. Stop calling me, spammers. And I would like to personally thank the state of New Jersey for your decision last night. It's almost.
Don't cry. Don't cry. I know those are tears of happiness. You don't have to fly to Vegas or Chicago. You can just go on the train. But they're gonna be watching you though. Be careful. When Chicago first turned, Indiana cops were sitting there waiting at the border for people. Yes,
Yeah,
they were. Be careful.
I'll be careful, but I mean, I'm not gonna fire my weed man just yet. In fact, I need to call him as soon as we get off the show. But I would just personally like to thank the state of New Jersey. You've been so gracious to me. Like New Jersey has just produced so many great things. 2 children, friends, extended family, and now the colors. Thank you.
Yay!
It's rock. Fuck all the rest of that shit that's going on in the White. That was the most important election.
So you win no matter what. DJ Kid Disco winner. Winner of the prize.
Alrighty then. Y'all bullshitting.
No, I know you're not.
Cece, am I kidding?
You are not kidding.
I'm dead ass.
Hmm.
Yes.
You are not kidding.
Finally, we won something that I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
No, let me stop playing, y'all. I really do. Yes, I am serious. I am a serious pothead. That's not a joke. I really am a pothead, but seriously, anybody that knows me knows that I'm very passionate about what's going on in this country. In fact, I'm a little bit too passionate. I stay on CNN and all the rest of them cursing out the TV like I'm watching the Eagles or some shit.
All right, well, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do our.
And you guys have a blessed week coming from me. You can always come back here to the Grown Folks Radio every day of the weekdays to uh, be on the Melanated Morning Show and many other shows with DJ Kid Disco. So please check him out. He does some awesome mixes. He loves music. That guy, what Mike said was true. He loves music. So he does some phenomenal mixes, and then all the other wonderful. Uh, Hosts on all the shows, please check out the Grown Folks Radio consistently all the time, not just from 10 to 12 on Wednesdays, but all the time. And I think you will enjoy it.
Like Sunday, we got the Letitia Webb gospel show from 2 to 4. We got Lonnie on the scene who's starting the show. That's Shelly's sister.
All right.
She's going to start a show.
I love her. She's so sweet.
Shelly's got a new show.
All right.
The Black Indie Showcase. I think she's going to do it on Wednesdays right after you.
Okay, cool.
Wednesdays and Fridays, I think she said. And just real quick, I know the flyers all over the place. I'm excited. Seabreeze is excited. But once again, don't forget to tune in next Wednesday. That is such a special day for me and hip hop in general. We get to talk to the legendary, iconic radio personality, Lady be.
Yes.
I am so late. I am so
That is pre-recorded. So that
yes.
is pre-recorded. So just for those of you that comment, if you're commenting, we'll definitely see those comments, but just not in real time.
Right. If you comment Wednesday morning, you won't see it. Now, if you comment Tuesday night,
Yeah, you can join us Tuesday night for the actual live version of it, but we'll play it on Wednesday morning for the Wednesday morning show. But we'll be on here live, so come and check it out if you're a lover of hip hop or not. Please join us.
and when I say hip hop, I'm talking about from the beginning, the grassroots, the very,
Mhm.
very. So, having said that, we're getting ready to sign off, and let's do this strategically, shall we?
Sure.
We're going to sign off from the radio first,
Mhm.
because coming up next is today's Wednesday.
Mhm.
Well, still Cool J Frank is still coming up because I put this in the rotation. So, yeah. And then after that will be the replay of the Dr. Patricia Webb gospel show, produced by yours truly. That's so decent for me to be producing a gospel show. I have so much fun on that show. So, having said that, say goodbye, Greasy.
That's a wrap.
Okay. And boom. And Facebook, same thing.
Mwah. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Bye bye. Oh,